Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another NCAA basketball video. I got my week 3 predictions here for you guys, and if you didn't watch the week 2 predictions video, I said that I'm just going to reformat these videos just a little bit, so that's why you see the dates of November 21st to the following Monday, because I'm going to start predicting games from the current Tuesday to the following Monday once we get to the Tuesday, November 30th. And I'll predict games from Tuesday, November 30th to Monday, December 6th, so on and so forth to account for the updated rankings. Now, what I'm also going to start doing is start doing week recaps of the games I've picked. So, week 2 recaps video, likely coming Monday. I have some choice words in that video, and I will have a little bit of choice words in this video as well. So, without further ado, let's get into it. One more tidbit of information. With these early season tournaments, I winged some of the games, so do not be surprised if you see some weird picks in here. Don't be like, gosh, dude, you're an idiot. I mean, geez, some of these teams I just don't know much about. So let's get started. Starting tomorrow, we have the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Tournament Championship game. This is not to be confused with the Hall of Fame Classic. We have 6th ranked Purdue against number 5 Villanova. Purdue absolutely had a tremendous game against North Carolina earlier today. Jaden Ivey is ridiculous. Purdue proven to be early on that they are a force to be reckoned with and the Big Ten favorite. Villanova whacked Tennessee. I mean, it wasn't even close. Villanova, the defense had been not to par there against UCLA. They turned that around against Tennessee, and Tennessee played awful in that game. My goodness, I will talk more on that in the Week 2 recap. This is a very exciting game here, but I do like Purdue's size and their athleticism, and that's why I'm picking Purdue to win the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament. Can Villanova win? Sure, but I wonder how they're going to wear down Zach Edey. That's going to be a tall order. Then you got Travion Williams and Jaden Ivey, Sasha Stefanov. It's a load to deal with Purdue. So exciting game tomorrow. Then we have the Charleston Classic Championship game. This one's going to be interesting. I've been back and forth on this one all day pretty much. Marquette versus number 22 St. Bonaventure. Marquette's been in these like they'll be down early in the game and then they suddenly rally. And the St. Bonaventure against Clemson, they shot terribly in the first half. They came back rallying in the second half. Tight game here. I'm gonna lean towards St. Bonaventure. It's a risky pick because Marquette does already have some decent wins this year. Illinois was one of them, of course, some good wins. Um, yeah, coin flip here. You can go either way with this one. On Monday, in Baton Rouge, Monday night, we're gonna have LSU versus Belmont. Now, this is an interesting game that came up on my radar before the season started. I thought, wow, this would be a great game. It's a good opportunity for Belmont to get in some bigger teams. Well, after watching Belmont play, they're not playing as quite as good as I thought they were going to. Like they've went to overtime against Furman. Seems like Furman's been giving everyone problems already this year, so I got to watch for that team this year a little bit. Belmont lost to Ohio. Not quite liking them as much as I'd like to. LSU been putting on some points. I mean, you got Jarius Days, I think that's his name, Jarius Days, something like that. One along those lines. Or Darius Day. Darius Days, I believe is his name. He's averaging like 21 points a game. LSU's stealing the ball a lot too. Um, LSU doesn't. is not known for their defense. They're known for their offense. Belmont can play. I think if Belmont plays their potential, they are one of the more dangerous teams. But for some reason, I haven't been quite on Belmont as much as I'd like to be. But tight game here. I was originally going to pick Belmont, but after watching them start the first few games of the season and being a little bit more back on them as I was before, being a little bit more about them, I guess I'll lean towards LSU. Tight game here. Should be a good one. I might watch it, to be honest. Here is the game of the week right here. You have the top two teams in college basketball. The Good Sam Empire Classic, number 2 UCLA against number 1 Gonzaga. This will be a very enticing matchup. This is a rematch of the Final Four in which Jalen Suggs made that ridiculous half-court shot to win the game in overtime. I mean, incredible game. That was a great birthday present for me because that was my birthday weekend pretty much, and it was incredible. But UCLA, love their overall team. Johnny Juzang is just an animal on the court. So is Jamie Yaquez, Tiger Campbell. This whole team is so fit for the occasion. Gonzaga, Drew Timme is just ridiculous. The way he can get on the inside so fast. And then you got Chet Holmgren, who's kind of lurking. Of course, he's 7 feet, mind you, but he's lurking, literally. I mean, this is a tough game. I'm actually going to take UCLA to get revenge. I think UCLA is going to draw both the bigs away from Gonzaga enough to open up better shots. Holmgren could definitely block shots. UCLA, I think, is going to play fast and furious, so can Gonzaga, but I think this time UCLA gets revenge, which should be a fantastic game. I definitely will be watching this one. It comes at 10 p.m. my time, so I'll be having to stay up a little late. That's okay. A great game indeed. Let's go to Friday, November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. The Continental Tire Challenge. This is another fantastic game. Number 1 Gonzaga versus number 7 Duke. I gotta tell you, I'm impressed with Duke this year so far. The freshman bigs, especially. How strong they are and how they're able to have physicality across the board is incredible. Crashing the glass, the inside especially. Duke is ferocious in the perimeter, like on the inside especially, in the paint. My goodness. Tough game here. Gonzaga's going to have to definitely draw them out more. Gonzaga's got size on their own they could throw at. Like the leadership, the veteran. Like, I mean, the Holmgren's, of course, a freshman, but their guys are freshmen too. This is just going to be a flat-out fight. It's a coin flip too. I'll take Gonzaga to rebound against Duke. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. Mike Krzyzewski's going to get this team rolling. Duke playing really good basketball to start the year. I'm really impressed, but I got to take Gonzaga by, it's going to be a really close game. Then you got on next Monday, the following Monday, November 29th, Big Ten ACC Challenge. There are a few, of course, conferences that play against each other with different games, like the Big 12 SEC. That's at the end of January. Then you got the Big East, Big 12. There's a few of those games coming up in December, mainly, just like the Big Ten ACC. You have Virginia versus Iowa. Now, Virginia has been very disappointing on offense. I'm not shocked, though. They're not known for their offense. Iowa has scored 1 trillion points already each game. Keegan Murray, Jordan Bohannon have been scoring not stop the last couple of weeks. And I think I have Iowa's record here wrong. I just noticed that. Please disregard that. I think it's wrong. They are 3-0 if I remember correctly. They have not lost a game. I was doing this at the last minute, putting all this together, so I apologize if there are a couple mistakes. But Virginia has just been a flat-out joke. And I'm taking Iowa. I was going to take Virginia, but I think Virginia is just going to have a struggle this year. They can't find an offensive identity. Their defense isn't doing any much better, so what gives? All right. This is where we're going to do some tournaments. And now I didn't do separate slides on I didn't do separate game slides. I just did a slide or whatever on the tournament itself. So, almost forgot about Illinois Notre Dame. I kept forgetting I put this matchup in there. But, yeah, this game could be closer than some people think. Illinois, of course, lost to Marquette. The turnovers for Illinois have got to stop. They're turning the ball over like it's a damn I don't know what you want to call it. It's freaking ridiculous. Then you got Notre Dame, who has Paul Atkinson. He could play really well. Notre Dame's got some good shooters, that's for sure. They could score the ball. They could score. Defense is a little bit of a problem sometimes, but Notre Dame can definitely score. Cockburn will be back at this point, of course. I think Illinois finally starts getting things together. I know. Me on this Illinois train is ridiculous. I really should not be on the Illinois train at this point. I don't even like Illinois, to be honest with you. I've never been a fan. But, yeah, it is what it is. Notre Dame could definitely win this game. They can. I was thinking about taking Notre Dame, but take it as it is. Now, I was rushing ahead of myself. Let's get to the early season tournaments. Start the Legends Classic, which starts on November 22nd. I apologize if this looks a little awkward, but it's the best I can do with a layout, and I'll try in future videos to make something like this better if something like this comes around. Well, especially with the conference tournaments, but I'll probably be using Microsoft Excel for that. Anyway, you have, speaking of the Titanic, Virginia versus Georgia. Now, Georgia has one of Georgia's players now plays on Virginia. Virginia still, though, don't like them too much. They got Jaden Gardner. They got Armand Franklin, K.A. Clark, but they're not producing much on offense for me. And a little risky. I'm taking Georgia. I cannot stand Virginia. They're slow. Very slow. It's like watching a turtle race or something. I have no idea anymore. Gosh, I don't understand. This is a really good game here, though. Providence and Northwestern. You joking? Providence beating Wisconsin on the road. It's a good win. Northwestern, they got Nance, who's a great forward, by the way. This is going to be a heavyweight fight, in my opinion. For some reason, though, I'm leaning towards Providence, which sets up a third-game matchup. And by the way, with these bigger tournaments especially, like the Maui, I'm just going to do the main games going forward towards the championship game, and the third-place game. I'm not doing the 5th, 7th place. That was going to take way too long anyway. Anyway, Providence, Nate Watson's played so good. The supporting cast is playing decent enough. Northwestern, this is going to be a close game. You can go either way with it. I was going to take Northwestern, but I'm thinking, it's tough. Then you got Georgia, Providence. I'm taking Providence to win the Legends Classic tournament. Could easily be Northwestern. If Virginia gets their mind right, they can win it, but you never know. Virginia's been on a slump, literally. Virginia, Northwestern, the third-place game. Yeah, I'm taking Northwestern. Again, I have no trust in Virginia, no faith in them, so that's just me. They may prove me wrong. I may get quite a bit of these games wrong, so it's all right. I mean, I like to talk about the stuff with you guys anyway. It's early in the season. You got to remember that, so let's go ahead and get to the Hall of Fame Classic tournament. This is interesting. This one's a little bit interesting. You have Cincinnati, Illinois. My phone's blowing up as we speak. Arkansas versus Kansas State. I'm using my phone as a camera over here. Cincinnati, Illinois. I will take Illinois. I like their team better. Cincinnati is undefeated, I think, as we speak, but I like Illinois more. I'm not really too much on Cincinnati. Arkansas, Kansas State. Arkansas is playing good. They can definitely play fast. I like Arkansas better than Kansas State. Kansas State's got nothing to offer me, which sets up a third-place game between Cincinnati and Kansas State. This will also be on November 22nd and 23rd. So, Illinois, Arkansas, literally could flip a coin. I will take Illinois. I think Illinois, again, I think they start figuring things out, but Arkansas can't make Illinois fluster. Arkansas could definitely make Illinois turn the ball over more. That's how Arkansas plays. Arkansas can play fast. It's just, I think Illinois is going to start turning things around with Cockburn coming back in the lineup this week. We'll see. Can't, hinge on everything, I guess. And I'll take Cincinnati in the third-place game. So there you go in the Hall of Fame Classic. I went through that kind of fast. The Maui Invitational. Well, I'll tell you what, this was tricky. This was quite an interesting lineup here. A very interesting lineup. Texas A&M, Wisconsin. Brad Davidson's going to be the main guy on their team. Obviously, the main guy on their team who could score. Texas A&M, they have some scorers as well. I'm leaning towards Wisconsin. Texas A&M, I'm not so much with my trust with them is just not there. I trust Wisconsin a little more. Butler and Houston. Houston's going to beat the ever-loving crap out of Butler. Let's just get that out there. Butler got manhandled by Michigan State. What's going to happen when you face Houston? The exact same thing except 10 times worse. Houston's defense is vicious. Oregon, Chaminade. Oregon, I'm taking Oregon. I'm so disappointed in Oregon right now. Like, we're not even going to go there. Let's just say this real quickly. You get bombed by BYU like that, 81-49? Are you joking? Brother, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say about this team. Oregon's got to figure it out. What in the world? I meant to pick the Oregon-BYU game from week 2. I forgot to do it. I was going to take Oregon, but BYU, I'll tell you what, they just ran right through Oregon. That was embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Dana Altman, not pleased, obviously. He was even saying that. Oregon needs to get it together. They're going to probably fall out of the top 20. They could honestly fall out of the top 25 altogether. They could be probably 23, 24, 25, one of those in the week 3 AP poll. St. Mary's, Notre Dame. Close game here. St. Mary's has the defense to slow Notre Dame down, but you know what? I'm going to take Notre Dame. Read a little bit more on them. I like Notre Dame a little bit, I think, in this game. St. Mary's, I think their offense just isn't going to hold it, isn't going to cut it. Then you got Wisconsin, Houston. Houston's going to take out Wisconsin. I mean, it's not even close, I think. I mean, Houston just plays fast. The way they play defense, they make you they make you very uncomfortable. Houston just is in your face constantly. Marcus Sasser averages like 23 points a game already. That's ridiculous. My throat's going in and out. I need water, sort of. We're going to keep going, though. Oregon, Notre Dame. I'm taking an upset here. Oregon pissed me off with that loss against BYU. They did, and I don't want to be too mean like that, but look, Oregon shouldn't have lost like that to BYU. That was bad. That was very bad. But you know what I mean. I'm gonna take Houston, Notre Dame. Now, Houston could be in a little bit of trouble against Notre Dame, but I think Houston wins the Maui. Definitely, Houston could definitely win. Now, if Oregon gets their mind right, they could definitely get to the final game. Notre Dame could too. Of course, Notre Dame can too. St. Mary's may make a sneaky run to the championship, Maui championship. It's kind of a little open. You never know what you're going to get. The third place game is Wisconsin and Oregon, and I do think Oregon can take it. So, we'll give them that. Fort Myers tip-off. This Ohio State Seton Hall game is interesting. It really is. And you got Cal versus Florida. Ohio State Seton Hall. Ohio State upset by Xavier. Ohio State, I'll tell you what, they tried everything to win that game, and they still lost. E.J. Liddell was swatting shots. He blocked how many shots in that game? 7 or 8? My goodness. Just unfreaking real. Seton Hall, huge upset against Michigan. But I think Ohio State is going to snap out of it. I think they're going to wake up a little bit in this. I think Seton Hall comes back to reality a little bit after a win like that against Michigan. They might fall asleep in this game. You never know. But I'll tell you what, Seton Hall, that was a big win for them. They might take that momentum. We'll see. You never know. But I think Ohio State, catches them off guard. You know, Ohio State's desperate to kind of get things pushing up a little bit. I think Ohio State will follow the rankings, by the way. Cal versus Florida. Florida's going to beat the ever-loving crap out of Cal. Florida, great win against Florida State, by the way. Castleton, just a freaking machine. Colin Castleton's probably one of the best big men in the country, for sure. You got Appleby as well, Tyree Appleby. They play that game for Keontae Johnson. I think Florida might be one of my dark horse teams maybe in the tournament. We'll see. I know it's early to say that. Ohio State and Florida, you know what? I'm going to take a chance at Florida to win the Fort Myers tip-off. Ohio State can win it too. You know, Ohio State wants to get things rolling, but, you know, they're struggling. You know, their cast got weaker, and they're trying to fill in the roles of what they're trying to fill things in on their team. Not quite working now. Xavier was just in their face constantly. They just cut through Ohio State at times on the inside. It's tough. It is really tough. Third place game, Seton Hall Cal. I will take Seton Hall very easily there. So battle for Atlantis. This was the hardest one to do. I'm not even freaking joking. Look at the freaking lineup. You got Michigan State and Loyola Chicago. What in the world? I mean, I'm having a headache almost trying to predict this game. Michigan State, we learned about them early on with their newer roster, how they could play tough against Kansas. They were trying. They just no fear. They absolutely tried their hardest. Loyola can definitely play some stingy defense. We found that out in the tournament, especially in March. Loyola picking up where they left off. I'm taking Michigan State. It's seriously a toss-up. I don't know who's even going to win this game. Michigan State, the way they play the game, they can get right in your face on the men's side. Bingham Jr. starting to improve a little bit. The development of Michigan State is going to be interesting to watch this year. Same with Loyola. If they had, especially that Cameron Crowell on their team, I take Loyola. But now it's a little more mysterious with them this year, so I'm not so sure. Pardon me. Auburn and Uconn. I'm taking Yukon. I'm not fully trustworthy on Auburn right now. Yukon's got some bigs that play well. Auburn, I feel like Auburn is a team. They almost just lost to South Florida. Um, a lot of teams have been having these weird games lately. I don't know. It's been one of those seasons we'll talk about when we get to like teams like Maryland. But I'll lean towards Yukon. Starts like 11:30, I think. Syracuse and VCU. Syracuse just lost to Colgate. I thought, what in the world? I'm going to assume Colgate shot a bunch of threes because of the zone. VCU, yeah, they're not. I don't have much. They don't have much for me. I think Syracuse wins. Might be a little closer though. VCU's more of a defensive team. Of course, Syracuse, the zone matchup zone. You got Jimmy Boeheim, Jimmy Boeheim, the young one, obviously, not the old guy, Jim. The guy that looks like he was birthed in 4000 BC. You might as well rename him Jim BC. Okay, we're going off the rails there. Syracuse, though, in my opinion, could be a sneaky team come March, but it just all depends on how they evolve over the season. Of course, Buddy Boeheim could shoot the ball really well. Arizona State, Baylor's going to toss them out like nothing. Toss them, body slam Arizona State like nothing, literally. Michigan State and Yukon. This is tricky. I'm going to get risky and lean towards Michigan State. Izzo's going to want this team to really start. Well, Izzo's trying. To me, Michigan State is trying to continue to find their true identity with a newer roster. And Izzo's going to really try and push this team during the season to build confidence, character, what you show in the face of adversity. It's tough. This top half is ridiculous. It's so wide open. It really is. We're probably not going to agree on it. It's all right. Syracuse and Baylor. Baylor will probably tear up the Syracuse zone. They got T'Challa, who looks like he's from frickin' he looks like a mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm sorry. Seriously, if you look at him, the dude's big. I mean, he is such a great rebounder, though. Very great rebounder. You gotta get a guy on the inside to kind of really mix the zone up and tear it up. I think Baylor can do it, especially with how fast they play. Michigan State, Baylor. I'm gonna take Baylor to win the Battle for Atlantis tournament, and then in the third place game, we got Yukon, Syracuse, and I'm taking Yukon. Like I said, I just kind of winged it with some of these. All right, moving on to the NIT season tip-off. This one will be a little bit more straightforward. November 24th to 26th. Xavier, Iowa State. Xavier, big win against Ohio State. They're going to take that momentum, and I think they're going to carry through with this. Beat Iowa State. Not much with Iowa State. They're not that good. Memphis versus Virginia Tech could be interesting. Could be. Virginia Tech, I think they're kind of there this year. Not. Memphis, of course, Damani Bates, Alex Lomax. Really great, fast team, which has up a third-place game with Iowa State, Virginia Tech. Xavier and Memphis. Xavier could push Memphis. Xavier's a tough team. I mean, I saw the second half of that game against Ohio State. Jack Nungy, Scruggs, Cole. I mean, these guys played tough, like tooth and nail. They fought tooth and nail literally in that game. But I like Memphis. Memphis is such a fast team. The way they play, I mean, Memphis is gonna be hard for Xavier to figure out. Xavier could slow them down for sure, but I think Memphis and their athleticism is gonna win the game. Now, third place game, Virginia Tech's gonna beat Iowa State. Diddly. All right, ESPN Events Invitational. That was so weird. This one was a little tricky too. Interesting lineup here. Dayton and Miami. I like Miami better. They got a guy with the last name of McGusty. Yeah. Cool. It's ironic because Florida gets hurricanes, of course, all the time, but McGusty. North Texas and number 3 Kansas. If you recall, North Texas upset of Purdue the tournament in March, but Kansas is one of the best teams in the nation. Okcha Agbaji, Remy Martin. You got Christian Brown. Sorry, my footage is Yeah, I like Kansas there. No contest. Alabama, Iona, they faced off in the tournament. 2-15 matchup, and I think Alabama beats them again. Alabama's a little weaker, of course, but they still got some good talent on that team. Nato is a great coach. So, gotta give it to him. Belmont, Drake, tricky one. Again, like I talked about with Belmont, after seeing their progress over the first few games, not quite as trustworthy on them. Drake, not as strong as last year, in my opinion. I'm going to go Belmont, reluctantly. Miami, Kansas. Kansas is going to win. Alabama, Belmont. I'm taking Alabama. I trust them just a little bit more as of right now. And then Kansas, Alabama. I will take Kansas to win the ESPN Events Invitational Tournament. Third place game, you have Miami, Belmont. I do think Belmont can beat Miami, of course, with them getting the experience of facing the bigger schools, of course. And the way they're kind of starting things off, it's kind of a little rough, but I think Belmont will work along with it and whatnot. So we'll take it as is with that. Bahamas Championship is the last one for you guys in this video. Maryland, Richmond. Boy, I'll tell you what. Maryland, are you there? I mean, seriously, are you there? I can't tell if you're there, Maryland. You lost to who? You lost to a school named... those are the dogs. Don't ignore them. You lost to a school called George Mason. Good job, Maryland. And they almost lost to Hofstra. Do you want a cookie for that too, Maryland? Maryland, I don't know what in the hell's going on with Maryland. They got some talent. Seriously, though, what is going on? Are they, like, struggling or something? Is Mark Turgeon having a stroke? I don't know. This team's having a stroke as we speak. Maryland's certainly dropping out of the top 25. Oh, my gosh. Richmond lost to Utah State. But you know what? Since Maryland's playing like garbage, I'm gonna take a risk with this overall little early season tournament. I'm gonna take Richmond. I know it's risky. Louisville, Mississippi State. I'm taking Mississippi State. I like their team better just a little bit. They got Garrison Brooks. They got Rocket Watts. Louisville, I don't trust them very much. I don't know what to make of them personally. Then you got Richmond, Mississippi State. Like I said, I got a little crazy with this one. I'll take Mississippi State to win Bahamas Championship. Why not? This is where I just kind of said screw it. And I just picked some teams. Maryland, Louisville. We'll take Maryland to rebound if they can. You know, if Maryland can wake up and not be deceased. Because this team is deceased as we speak, kind of. Anyway, those were my Week 3 picks. Sorry, that got a little awkward there towards the end. But I appreciate you guys sticking around with these videos. Week 2 recap video, likely going to be coming Monday. Going to talk quite a bit about Week 2, and with especially, like I said, these week recaps will be of the picks I have made in the predictions videos that I put out with these prediction videos. And, yeah, more content to come overall. Towards the end of this month, I'll have an early season look at who I think will win the major conferences and whatnot, the conference titles. But yeah. Appreciate you guys sticking around through this stuff. Like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.